welcome back to another episode, Walk the Talk Style, where I'm joined one of the earliest adapters to EXP in South Australia and Australia's first icon agent and double icon agent, and a good mate of mine that I'm proud to be aligned with in this incredible real estate journey that we're on together, but also life journey. Bjorn Kunzel, thanks for joining us on this episode, mate.
Chris, my brother, it's fantastic to be here as always, and it's good to see your face, mate. I miss you.
You too, brother. You too. And I've created this little image of you, mate, a passion that you and I are synonymous with. We absolutely have the same passion when it comes to all things water, being on the water, fishing, camping, exploring. We're going to talk to that in a moment because you absolutely have more lifestyle choices than ever before. But for those agents that might not know a little bit about yourself, that are seeing this video and yourself for the first time, just give us a quick 1 minute overview of how long you've been in the industry, where you've come from and where you're at.
All right, so I've been in the industry coming up to 15 years. I live in the northeastern suburbs of Adelaide, live in Windvale currently, moved from Modbury North, so not far from where I grew up in Paravista. Yep. 43 years old and selling anywhere between 70 to 90 houses on average a year in most years.
Cool. And you came from a model that was unmatchable. I know that because I tried to recruit you for nearly on 10 years and I just couldn't match the deal you're on. We're going to get in talk to some specific numbers. So this is a 2-year health check of Bjorn being in EXP. And guys and girls, we're going to share with you the transparent numbers. This stuff is no smoke and mirrors. It doesn't lie. It is as real as it gets. And it's gotten better for Bjorn, who came over from probably the best deal that I knew of in South Australia. So Bjorn, 2-time icon agent, but let's get down to the nitty gritty of the income, gross commission earnings, but more importantly, net earnings, net income. Tell us about the numbers over the last 12 to 24 months for yourself.
All right, so the first 12 months in EXP, as you know, there was the three of us which started this journey together, myself, yourself, and Mike Lowry. I'm proud to say we've grown the team now from the three of us to now 25 agents strong to this date today. And we've got 2 more agents onboarding. So we'll soon be 27 agents strong. My first year at EXP, I did 478,000 gross commission income.
Yep.
Where nobody knew who EXP was. Nobody knew of our brand. And I earned more money than I'd ever earned in my entire life, close to double. And I was coming from an 80% commission split.
Yep. So
70% plus super is what it was. So it works out to roughly around about 80% commission split. Yep. But after having to pay out other costs, which is obviously incorporated with any other business, personal assistance and so on and so forth, I found myself writing 437,000 as my best at Weeks and Macklin.
Yep.
And then first year at EXP doing 478. So there was a fairly big jump there to start with. Yep. When we started this thing, and 67 deals in my first year.
Yep.
Now we're coming up to the end of the second year, at the end of this, at the end of June, actually. So we've still got a month to go. But looking at my figures, I'm sitting on $533,000 gross commission income, and that's still with a month up my sleeve. So I've got probably about, I'd say there'd probably be another 30 or 40 grand that'll add on top of that. So it'll probably end up being at least 550, probably more likely 560, 570. And yeah, loving every minute of it, mate.
So can I just ask, mate, so 67 transactions first year EXP. Okay.
Yes.
Where that, you know, typically a lot of agents have this perception of, oh, if I change brands, I'm going to lose traction. Do you know? So you did 437,000 as your best year with your former business that you were with. Do you know how many transactions you actually did in that 437K GCI year?
Yeah, that was 63 transactions.
63. Okay. Yep. So you went from 63 transactions, 437K gross income being your best year, to then first year, something completely unknown, just come to the Australian shores, was dominating in the global market, but everyone was skeptical of here in Australia because we are conservative.
Yep.
You went from 63 transactions, 437K GCI, to first year EXP, 67 transactions. So you did an extra 4 settlements.
Correct. Yep.
Right. But you wrote 478,000, so nearly $40,000 difference in income.
That's right. And the interesting thing here, Chris, with that is at the beginning for the first few clients, because nobody knew who EXP was. Like I was, I think, agent number 13 in Australia.
Yep, you were.
So no one knew EXP at all. So the plan was at the beginning, okay, we've got to get known. So I'm going to do deals. So some of my first commissions, you'd laugh at them if you knew what they were, how low they were, but it was just to get signboards at the front of properties, basically.
Yep.
And even with incorporating those first, probably I would say probably the first 6 to 10 transactions being very low commissions, just to get the EXP brand out there, I still ended up writing more commission because as time went on, my commission actually increased from what I was charging previously at my previous employer. Yep. And in some cases, some of my commissions towards the end of that were up to twice or 3 times as much as what I was charging in my entire career previously. Wow. So we come from zero to basically establishing the brand, yep, establishing the name, and writing more gross commission income and earned close to double what I earned previously.
Okay. How many transactions are you on track to settle this year, mate?
So there's 57 settled now, and we're towards the 25th of May or whatever it is today.
Yeah.
And we've still got another month and a bit to go, and I've got about another probably 7 that I'll get through, I think, between now and the end of June, so 1st of July. So that should put me up to maybe 60, 64. So a few less than the previous year, but commissions were a lot healthier this year.
Yep.
Charging more.
So let that just sink in, everyone. Bjorn is a guy, absolutely love him, but he analyzes everything under the microscope like you would not believe. He scrutinizes. He's a master of negotiation with anything and everything that he touches, looks at, and criticizes. But let's just let these numbers sink in. Best year ever was 437K with 63 transactions. First year over to EXP, an unknown, highly skepticized brand here coming into Australian shores. You did 478,000, so nearly 40K difference in GCI, and you settled an extra 4 properties in that first year with EXP, 67 transactions. However, fast forwarding to this year, and this would support that, yes, you wanted to get runs on the board, signboards up, traction, market share to begin with. So this supports your commission rate has gone up, because this year you're going to settle less than the first year with EXP, right? So you're going to be around 64 transactions, 21, 22 versus 67 transactions in year 2020 to 21. But you're going to earn nearly 100,000 gross commission income difference. Now that's massive. So that's the gross earnings. Let's talk about net income. Like, what's the difference year on year that you're putting into your back pocket, your household bank account?
This is where it gets really exciting, because the highest income earning year that I had at Weeks of Macklin previously, I think I brought home about $247,000, and I was stoked by that. And I was stoked. I thought that was amazing, because I had to pay my personal assistant, marketing, all these other things out of that, right? So that was really good income. So first year at EXP, with EXP, you take off 27,640 from both of those numbers, and that goes to show you my income earnings. Yeah. So I've in the last 2 years, if I would have stayed where I was versus where I am now, what are we talking? We're talking a difference of about a difference of almost $500,000 extra in my pocket over 2 years.
That's crazy.
Right? Over 2 years extra compared to the 247 I was earning. Now, I've reached Icon twice, so there's company shares and equity that they've given me. Yep. So when we talk about that as well, I've got a share portfolio that's worth over $50,000 in EXPI shares in Australian dollars. That was basically gifted to me and grown as the share price has increased. So I worked out, Chris, that over the next 10 years, I will be probably about $3 million better off being at EXP. And we did this change from nothing. No word, no mention of EXP anywhere in Australia, really, and we brought it in. Now, I had you recruiting me with Harcourts offering me ridiculous deals. I had Ray White approaching me. I had several other companies. Sorry, I shouldn't say too much about the companies, but I had several other companies approaching me, offering me deals left, right, and center. But just I knew inside of me that one day something was going to come. And I think I spoke to you about this as well. And I said, something's going to happen. There's going to be a model where it's basically for the agents, by the agents, where we all collaborate together, but there's no bosses, and we all tap into a common source, and we all retain majority of our income, like a cloud-based type model, like a Netflix, an Amazon, an Uber, but by still being a 100% full service real estate model. And as soon as I saw EXP, I was like, ding, 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 light bulb moment. I just knew that this was that model that I'd been searching for my entire real estate career. Because let's face it, who's happy taking home 40%, 50%, 60%, 70% of their hard earned, and in return they're provided with a brand and a desk?
Yeah, I think
Not me.
I think agents need to start asking that question. You know, they probably haven't for the last 2-3 years because the market's been pumping and everyone's making good money. But as things begin to tighten up, you know, agents are probably going to want more line share because there's less listing opportunities. There's definitely less transactions, and transactions reflect your end of year group certificate. So if you're transacting less, the only way to make as much as you did when you're transacting more is to increase how much you're taking of the settled commission that's payable. Let's just talk about that though, mate. So $500,000 up thereabouts in asset wealth and income over the last 2 years, going into something that was foreign at the time and really unknown here in Australia. How many support people you got working for you, mate? Like how many PAs or buyer's agents have you employed?
Zero.
Hang on. So hang on, mate. Let me just clarify. So you're on track to write 570,000 thereabouts in gross income earnings for 2021 to 2022 financial year, and you have zero personal assistants that you employ.
I've got a virtual assistant, which I get to do little bits and pieces here and there.
No. When I say employ, you've got to pay them. Generally in our industry, the way it works, if you're not the business owner and you work for somebody, is you generally cover half their wage and the business owner covers the other half of their wage. That's most agreements I see, but you've got to cover them from a annual leave, a sick leave, parental leave. They're a PAYG. So let's just talk at the moment. Who is on your PAYG payroll books to support you?
Nobody, Chris. Nobody.
No one.
And previously, I did have a personal assistant, which cost me about $75,000 a year at Weeks Macklin when I wrote that 437K. We've got access to virtual assistants because EXP provide them for us. I've actually given some work to somebody outside of that just when I get ultra busy. But in the last 6 months, she's cost me $6,000 for 6 months. So it's nothing.
And there's no annual leave.
Nothing.
It's subcontracted agreement. She takes care of her own tax. She looks after her own leave. It's just paid on, you know, paid by service basis, which I think is brilliant. You know, I see so many agents, man, and I know of agents, right, that are writing your numbers and they've got like 2, sometimes 3 people under them. And I just think, how are they doing it all? And what are they taking home? And how are they having a lifestyle by the time they pay out all those expenses to what they're left over with on a 50 or 60% split? Like, that's a stressful model, mate. And I just think, I just wanted to point out 570K GCI in the industry doesn't employ 1 staff member under him. However,
correct.
You have
no one's
support.
on my payroll. Nobody.
No one's on your payroll, mate. Beautiful. So you don't worry about super tax, all of that stuff for any staff that are in your business and you're writing those numbers.
And I don't have to worry about auditing. I don't have to worry about trust accounting. I don't have to worry about admin. I don't have to worry about processing. Nothing. It's all taken care of for me with EXP.
Yeah.
And that's for a total cost of $27,640 a year. It's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer, man. And I'm working less. I'm working less. I'm working from home. I'm in my home office. I've got my kids that I see all the time. I go fishing like 10 times more than I used to.
Yeah.
But the thing is as well, I'm so much more focused and so much more on point when it comes to dealing and wheeling in real estate because there's just more technology that we're using, which is smarter, which enables me to work smarter, not harder. So my workload has decreased probably compared to where I was previously, probably by at least 35 to 40%. So I've got about 35, 40% more time, plus, you know, twice as much money sitting in the bank. Plus I get to see my wife, get to see my kids, get to see my family every day.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. This is an objection I get occasionally. Tell me your thoughts on it. Really honestly, man. I talk to agents and they're like, I don't know if I could work from home. I kind of need that office environment. You know what my view is of this, but I want to hear your thought around that. Like, what would be your response if you heard that from an agent?
There's only one thing an office is good for, and that's like friendship, camaraderie.
Yep.
It's the only thing you need an office for. Mate, we've got a group chat here, as you know, SA group chat. We're on there all day, every day. I'm talking to Brew, I'm talking to Ariane, I'm talking to you. I'm getting phone calls from James, phone calls from Bridget. We're going out for lunch with Bridget, going out for lunch with the guys. Hey, guys, catching up for lunch at this pub. Whoever's free, rock up. Sometimes there'll be 3 of us. Sometimes there'll be 15 of us. So the camaraderie is stronger than any office environment. Because here's the thing, Chris. I'm not in your pocket. You're not in my pocket. We're not competing against each other. We're on 100% commission split. So we back each other up. Sometimes we'll help each other out as well for no financial reward. But what goes around comes around, and there's no dog eat dog at EXP. It's just good people working together, backing each other up, and the friendship and the camaraderie is 10 times stronger than I've ever experienced in any office anywhere. And my last office was like family to me. So that's a big statement, because I call it like it is. I'm very critical of things. I'm very brutally honest and blunt. So if I don't like something, I'll shout it from the rooftops.
Mate,
but this
like
is
it
great.
I like it because I found the office environment to be one of two things: realness and fakeness, and they both don't go hand in hand together. There was always two sides.
No.
There was half people you probably loved to be around and wanted to work with, and we're proud to go in to say good day and good morning to them every day. And there's the other half where you're like, I actually don't need them in my life. I'd probably be better off without them in my world. And I found as our circles gotten more smaller and more impactful, it's become more empowering for me as an agent, a person, a human being, a husband, a dad, whatnot. But one of the things I love that we spoke about a while ago with some agents that I don't know if I can go to that home environment over an office. It's like, far out. Do you not love your de facto? Do you not love your wife? Do you not love your kids? Like for me, if I could combine work with home, so I'm home more, I'm present more with my wife and kids, but I can still run my business and my organization keeps functioning and ticking, like that's a double win for me. Double win.
Well, can I give you a rundown, Chris? You've hit the nail on the head, right? The only people that don't want to work from home are people that don't like their families.
Or it might be singles. It might be people.
Or,
it might be singles. It might be singles. There might be agents that are watching this and they like going that interaction daily. If they're single, I get that. Like they might need that interaction daily because they're single. Going home's probably might be a bit of a lonely environment. So I get that camaraderie side of things. But you're right. If you're married or got a partner and you got kids, like even your dogs, mate. Even if you're single and you got dogs, wouldn't you want to spend more times at home with your dogs if you're a dog lover and you're still able to write business and do business?
Well, let me tell you what my life used to be like. I'd get up in the morning, I'd get in the car, I'd drive to the office, I'd sit in the office, we'd chat around, I'd sit down, I'd give my personal assistant a list of things to do for that day. I'd sit behind my computer, I'd do what I needed to do, then I'd go to my appointments, then I'd end up coming home late at night, 7:30 at night, 8 o'clock after my appointments were finished. My kids would already be in bed. I'd miss out on my kids waking up and going to school in the mornings. I'd miss out on them in the afternoons. I'd miss out on them on the evenings. I'd miss out on the dinners. And then I'd see my wife for a couple of hours before she goes to bed. And then I'd get up and do it all over again.
Yep.
Now, this is what my life looks like today. I wake up, kids are there. Play with the cat, play with the dog, see the kids.
Yep.
Take the kids to school, walk the kids to school sometimes drive the kids to school, sometimes the wife takes them to school, come back into my office, do a little bit of a list of what needs to be done today, look at where my schedule is, where my diary is, go back out, chat to my wife, have a conversation with my wife, maybe take the dog for a walk, go to my appointments, come home, kids are home, hey, how you going? Have something to eat with the kids, something to eat with the family, get back in my office, do another little bit of work that I need to do, then go to my appointments, put the kids to bed, read the kids a storybook, go sit down and watch TV for a couple of hours with my wife goes to bed at 9 o'clock, bingo. Bjorn gets a couple of beers, Bjorn walks into the office from 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock because I don't go to bed till midnight. In that 3 hour period, I will do 8 hours worth of work in that 3 hour period. So I am twice, if not 3 times more productive. I'm more present. I see my family more. My kids actually know what their dad looks like. I get to read them stories. And in between that, there'll be lunches at the pub with you guys and all that sort of stuff. So life's gone from being a rat race to this is I almost feel like I'm semi-retired. It almost feels like I'm semi-retired. It does. It really does.
Mate, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that because I actually want someone to prove to me some way, shape or form how an office is more productive for an agent, a support person, because hear out why. Every agent I talked to, and you've just reiterated this, says that they're more productive, they're more present, they have a better lifestyle balance from being able to work from home. but also like recently, I've been releasing Walk the Talk series around our support team. And all our support team have said, we've come from office environments, right? Real estate, office, bricks and mortar, traditional businesses. And they said, I could never go back. I'm far more productive from being able to work from home. I live the lifestyle of my choice, not by someone else's telling or doing. And it's resonating through all these conversations I'm having through from agents to support people that have come from traditional businesses. The only ones that skepticize working from home are generally the ones that actually haven't worked from home full time, and they're still going to that office environment. Until you make that commitment physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially to let go of the office, and you commit to home, working from home full time like we do and our support team do, you really can't see both sides of the fence. And it's really enlightening to hear that, you know, we're talking from people who have worked in financial support with businesses in real estate, through to admin support, through to reception support, whatever. They've all worked in support roles in one shape, form or another in a traditional real estate business. Now they're working virtually to support our agents from home. And the message continually is, we'd never go back. We're far more productive with agent support working from home. There's less distractions, there's less noise, and the commute. People don't miss the 30-minute, the hour-long commute, the 2 hours, the hour that everyone's losing a day in lost productivity just to get from A to B to be able to do your job. So
the other thing as well, Chris, apart from all that, is the happiness factor. Like, I used to be highly anxious. My anxiety is next to zero now, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. And when you explain to a client, a potential vendor, because let's face it, we're about listing and selling, yeah?
Yep.
Now, we all know that we're going to sell a property regardless, because the buyers are going to come, right? We've got other ways to find buyers. We'll get into that another day. But anyway, with a vendor, my strike rate has gone from about 35% to up to over 92% to closing deals, because when I sit with the customer and I explain what EXP is, and I explain why EXP, and I explain that I retain 100% of my commissions, and I explain to them the system, and I compare that to the franchise system, they all go, it's absolutely brilliant. It's 2022. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult for the franchises to beat us. Very difficult, because we've got the power of business owners. So winning business is easier, 3 times easier than what it was. Getting the business is easier. Everybody loves what we're doing, and we're providing people with better value than what anyone else can provide them. And there's also other avenues that we have for marketing people's properties that nobody else is doing, which I'm not going to explain here because we don't want everyone cottoning on. But the happiness level, the lack of anxiety, the freedom, the lifestyle, the making it so much easier to win business. When you explain to people what Netflix is, and you explain to people what Blockbuster Video are, and you put them into context, and you explain that we are the Netflix, we are the Amazon, but we are the full service. We're not the purple bricks where you did it yourself. We're the full service real estate. Every single vendor I've gone to, not one has said, oh, but you know, they've all been like, this is brilliant. This is technology. This is the future. We love it. What do we do next?
People get technology more so than ever before in 2022. And you're right. I love that point that you mentioned. Every agent in EXP is a business owner. They compete at a business owner level. And, you know, we've had a lot of success with associates who have come from traditional models that have sort of been held back to now propelling themselves and already getting runs on the board incredibly quickly. Like, we're doing a 12-month review with Boring next week, who's hitting 12 months. And the numbers this guy has achieved in 6 to 12 months, phenomenal. But not only that, the wealth that he's created in other areas of his life from the income that he's keeping more of through EXP. Stay tuned for that EP next week, because that's going to be cool. But that's why we've had such quick success with guys that have had short time in the industry. It's no longer that you need to earn your stripes and be in the game 5-10 years before you can become successful. Like, these guys are on track to do 50-60 deals in their first 12 to 24 months, because they're competing at the same level as if you're a traditional business owner. You can be more robust. They're a lot more agile. They're very versatile because they're at that level within this model. Mate, what an empowering session this is. The numbers speak volumes. Like, you're 100K up in 12 months in financial year, yet your transactions are hovering at a very similar level over the last 3 years, but your income's going up. Your net position's obviously increasing. Your wealth, absolutely, nearly $500,000 difference in 2 years. So for any of you performers that are out there that are what we would consider influential agents, just like Bjorn, that are probably writing somewhere between 4 and 650K in gross earnings per annum, that's Bjorn's different in 2 years, nearly $500,000 difference in wealth from a standard normal model in our industry to what he's managed to put in other areas of his life. Mate, for any agents that are watching this, whether they're writing 400 to 650K, or they're maybe, you know, starting out 12 months and looking to write their first 250K, or for those people we know that are writing over $1 million, have a team of 5 or 6 agents under them, paying them all $60,000, $70,000 and maybe on a 50% deal, what's your words of encouragement to those folks?
Put aside the us versus them. Put aside the fact that we're not on the same team at the moment, and realize that this one person making it in a new model could be a fluke. 2 people making it a fluke. 3 people making it a fluke. But Chris, myself, yourself, and Mike, we were the first 3 amigos at EXP. In the first 12 months, we all became icon agents, which meant we were rewarded with company equity, and we all earned more money than what we'd ever earned in our entire careers.
Yep.
You'd been doing this for 14 years like I had. Yep. Mike's been in it for, I think, 4 or 5 years. Now, that could be a fluke. Maybe it's a fluke. But then on comes Simon Bishara and Chris Kajira, agents number 4 and 5 with EXP. They've just haven't even come up to their 12-month period. They've both become icon agents as well. So all 5 within the first 12 months have reached icon agents. 5 out of 5 isn't a fluke. 5 out of 5 is success leaves clues. Now, we've got associates that have been working for some of these companies, of the people that will be watching this. They were earning $42,000 a year, $38,000 a year, $50,000 a year, that now within their first 6 months have already earned themselves close to $100,000 in their first 6 months with us. That in their second 12 months will be writing similar figures to what I am writing. A 15-year in the industry agent. They'll be writing similar figures to what I am writing, and they will be semi-retired like I am. So guys, put aside the us versus them. Put aside what everyone else has said to you. Put aside what your bosses are saying to you. Put aside what the franchise are saying to you. And just be selfish for once in your life. And just think about this. If you compare A and B, and you compare them both properly side by side, you can make an informed and educated decision on whether you like A or whether you like B. But if you're comparing A and B based on hearsay and rumors and what other people are telling you, you could be missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Our doors are open. I feel that some agents hate us because of the business that we're winning. My message to those agents is, please don't hate us, man. Come and join us. Come and join us. The doors are open. Come and experience for yourselves, because there's plenty to go around. But just compare apples and apples, and you'll soon find out which side of the fence is best for you. And if that happens to be where you are, then that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But you never know unless you never go. Give it a go. Give it a try.
Love it, mate. Break down the bullshit barriers. At the end of the day, we're just agents that are having a crack in life to try and get ahead. And if this model helps you get further ahead, like it has Bjorn, like it has I, or the 5 or 6 further agents that he's just mentioned, then so be it. If not, that's cool too. We totally respect that. But you know, it's a model built from agents, by agents, for agents, and it's owned and driven by its agents. So, Bjorn, it's always an honor and privilege, mate, having you on Walk the Talk. You always just shed a lot of positivity and enlightenment on how refreshing it is of this beautiful opportunity and blessing that's before us. And mate, I can't wait to get out and do a little bit more of that behind us with you, mate, when we catch up real soon. And
I just want to say sorry for the half an hour. We're aiming for 8 minutes, but there's just too much to cram in.
It was never going to happen. But anyway, we saved the best till last, mate. That's what matters most. So if you're watching till this end, good on you. Hopefully you've got some informative information from this. And if you've got any questions about EXP or his or about Bjorn's life, just reach out to him. He's the most open door guy you could ever possibly meet. And I'm proud to have him on my side and call him my mate. Thanks, Bjorn. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on another episode. Bye for now.
Thanks, Chris, as always. Bye for now, guys.
Bye-bye.